The USS Arizona is a Pennsylvania battleship. In the years 1914 to 1915, the Arizona was built at the Naval Yard in Brooklyn, New York. It officially became part of the U.S. Navy on October 17, 1916, joining the Pennsylvania as one of two battleships in the Pennsylvania class. The Arizona was the largest ship and was a crucial asset in the U.S. Pacific Fleet. It is one of the most heavily armed vessels in the U.S. Equipped with advanced technology, it had a ton of inventory such as 12 14-inch guns and 22.5-inch guns. As I said, it was the largest ship, and it was measuring 608 feet and weighing 31,400 tons. In World War I, the USS Arizona didn't see combat because it used bunker fuel oil, which was rare in the United Kingdom where many U.S. battleships burned coal. Instead, it maintained a watch along the eastern coastline. While not directly involved in combat, it contributed to the nation's maritime security during the conflict. However, in December 1918, the Arizona was part of the escort for the ship carrying President Woodrow Wilson to the Paris Peace Conference. Few years down the line, the Arizona was involved in various exercises and training maneuvers, maintaining its readiness and operational capabilities. Also, many protective measures were taken, like new armor. Engines and various munitions were also upgraded. After the completion of the work, the Arizona was ultimately directed to the Pacific Ocean, and it stayed there for the entirety of its service. When it looked like the United States might join World War II, the Arizona was told to get even better in 1940 to 1941 by making additional improvements. Under the command of Rear Admiral Isaac Kidd, these enhancements aim to ensure the battleship's readiness for the challenges of the evolving global situation. Different exercises were practiced by the Arizona in a few months, including the one in which it collided with the USS Oklahoma. This resulted in a hole on the Arizona's port side, which took several weeks to repair. After this, the battleship continued with its training. In the years leading up to the notorious attack on Pearl Harbor, geopolitical tensions between the United States and Japan increased, amid Japan's expansionist ambitions in Asia. The U.S., responding to Japan's aggressive actions in China, implemented economic sanctions, a diplomatic strategy aimed at restraining Japanese military endeavors. This diplomatic standoff was further complicated by a growing suspicion that artificial intelligence, in the form of intercepted communications, might have played a role in Japan's decision-making. As the U.S. sought to curb Japan's imperialistic aspirations through economic means, Japan found itself facing economic constraints and a pressing need for vital resources, particularly oil, rubber, and iron ore. In navigating these challenges, the Japanese leadership made a crucial decision: launch a preemptive strike against the U.S. Pacific Fleet stationed at Pearl Harbor. The motivation behind this decision was rooted in the pursuit of strategic advantage and resource acquisition to sustain Japan's military and industrial machinery. On the morning of December 6, 1941, the USS Arizona, a battleship of the United States Navy, returned to its home port at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The following day, December 7, 1941, at approximately 7:55 a.m., Pearl Harbor was violently disrupted by a surprise military strike by the Imperial Japanese Navy. This planned attack unfolded in two waves, involving a force of 350 Japanese aircraft, including bombers, torpedo planes, and fighters. The assault targeted the heart of the United States Pacific Fleet, stationed at Pearl Harbor. Bombs rained down on American vessels, causing widespread devastation. At around 8:10 a.m., a colossal 800-kilogram projectile struck Arizona with destructive precision. The impact of this bomb was disastrous. It passed through the Arizona's deck, breaking its forward magazine, which was a critical storage area for munitions. The collision ignited the ship's fuel reserves, which led to a colossal explosion. The force of the blast was so intense that it lifted the mighty battleship out of the water. This marked the beginning of the Arizona's descent into the depths. Despite the vessel rapidly sinking into the ocean's embrace, the assault showed no mercy. The endless rain of bombs continued. The once majestic USS Arizona, now engulfed in flames and sinking, bore witness to the ferocity of war. The USS Arizona, in particular, became one of the most severely affected vessels. The attack on Pearl Harbor not only destroyed the U.S. naval capabilities in the Pacific, but also made the United States get into the global conflict of World War II, marking a turning point in history. This fateful sequence of events on that infamous December day resulted in extensive damage to the United States Pacific Fleet. 8 American battleships were either sunk or heavily damaged, with the USS Arizona being the most severely hit. The USS Oklahoma, USS West Virginia, USS California, USS Nevada, USS Pennsylvania, USS Maryland, and USS Tennessee were also among the ships affected. Additionally, over 300 aircraft were destroyed, and nearly 2,400 Americans lost their lives, with many more injured. The attack unified the American public and led to the country's immediate entry into World War II. The next day, on December 8, 1941, the U.S. declared war on Japan. The Arizona descended into approximately 40 feet, 12 meters of water, with certain sections remaining above the surface, while the ship persisted in flames for over 2 days. Almost immediately following the tragic events, efforts were initiated to recover the bodies, but a depressing decision was made to leave more than 900 individuals buried within the sunken remnants of the ship. In the early months of 1942, the Arizona was officially declared a total loss, and in a departure from the fate of other vessels sunk at Pearl Harbor, it was not raised from the water body. Instead, after the next few years, diverse components of the battleship were salvaged and repurposed to contribute to the war. The portions of the ship that remained above the waterline were removed, in spite of the deletion of the Arizona from the Navy's register in late 1942. Symbolic recommissioning of the ship occurred in 1950. In 1958, legislation was passed to create a memorial for the USS Arizona, a battleship sunk during the Pearl Harbor attack. Despite no federal funding allocated for its construction, donations were sought, and a notable contribution came from Elvis Presley, who organized a benefit concert at Pearl Harbor in 1961. Construction commenced in 1960, and by 1962 the USS Arizona Memorial was officially dedicated on May 30th. The memorial, designed by Austrian-born architect Alfred Price, is a 184-foot-long white concrete and steel structure spanning the wreckage. Price, who was interned after the Pearl Harbor attack, crafted a simple yet powerful design symbolizing the nation's low point and subsequent victory. The concave form represents the aftermath of the attack, while the raised ends signify triumph. The 21 open-air windows are thought to symbolize a 21-gun salute. In 1980, oversight of the memorial transitioned to the National Park Service, and it now attracts approximately 1.8 million visitors annually. The sinking of the USS Arizona continues to matter today for quite a few reasons. The USS Arizona's sinking was a crucial moment in history, marking the United States' entry into World War II. It serves as a reminder of the impact of the war on American soil and the sacrifices made by military personnel. The USS Arizona Memorial stands as a national monument and a place of remembrance for those who lost their lives during the attack on Pearl Harbor. It gives us a clear connection to the past and a place to think about the cost of the war. The attack on Pearl Harbor showed us the importance of military intelligence. We still use the things that we learned from this event to shape how we plan for war, highlighting the importance of staying alert and prepared. It played a significant role in shaping United States foreign policy, particularly in the Pacific. The event also affected international relations, particularly the relationship between the United States and Japan. Today, it serves as a historical reference point in conversations about the importance of diplomacy and the outcomes of military actions. The USS Arizona Memorial attracts millions of visitors each year. It serves as an educational tool which helps the people to understand about the historical context of World War II and fostering a sense of patriotism and national identity. It basically matters today because it is an integral part of American history and a site of remembrance that continues to shape national identity and inform discussions on military strategy, diplomacy, and international relations. In the depths of Pearl Harbor, the USS Arizona rests as both a memorial and a testament to the spirit of those who served. The sinking of this mighty battleship on December 7, 1941, not only marked a tragic moment in history but also became a catalyst that made the United States get into World War II. The echoes of that day continue to resonate, and the USS Arizona Memorial stands as a timeless tribute to the lives lost and the sacrifices made. As we reflect on this chapter, let us remember the heroes of the USS Arizona and honor their enduring legacy, symbolized by the sunken wreckage beneath the waters of Pearl Harbor.